If you're a fitness instructor looking to level up your playlisting, look no further than this video. Welcome to Playlisting 101, where I break down all the ins and outs of making a successful group fitness playlist that will raise the energy in your classes and leave your clients signing up again week after week. First, I'm going to break down all of the technology that I use to make my playlist and how I implement those technologies to use within each other. Have you ever wondered how local files get from Soundcloud to your computer to your playlist? Because I'm going to teach you today. Then I'm taking you through my ultimate playlisting formula for success that has worked for me for over 2,000 group fitness classes. I'm also going to give you 3 checkpoints for your fitness playlist to keep your class on track and the energy high for the duration of your entire workout. Lastly, we're going to end with some troubleshooting and some Q&A. I asked all my Instagram followers to send me a few questions earlier in this week, and I'm going to break down all the questions that I received. We have so much to cover today, so let's get started. Hi everybody, my name is Jordan, aka Healthy Bunhead. I am a group fitness instructor. I have worked in the fitness industry for almost 10 years from every position, from front desk worker to aspiring fitness instructor to lead instructor. I have taught multiple modalities, so all of the advice that I'm going to give you today in this video can be applicable to all of your group fitness classes, from bar to HIIT to Pilates to cycling and more. I currently teach indoor cycling, but I have used all of these techniques when crafting my other modalities of playlist. Now let's get started with the what. What do I use to make my playlist? Well, my friends, all of the Apple Music girlies in my comments right now will be screaming, but I do not use Apple Music, and here's why. It's a simple answer. 2 of the international chain boutique fitness brands I've taught for do not allow their instructors to use anything but Spotify because of agreements and contracts made between the brands and Spotify themselves. A lot of it has to do with software integration. So for example, right now I coach at CycleBar, and CycleBar's app works with Spotify to upload and send out your playlist after every class so that my writers can receive the music we rode to after they leave the studio. It's so nice, and it's such a great way to extend community outside of the studio walls. That's another reason I always advocate for Spotify. Even if I wasn't teaching at CycleBar, I would probably still keep all my playlists on Spotify because I want all my writers to have access to everything we've listened to. It just keeps them in the community feeling and like they belong to my classes and my playlists, and they're extending the party beyond just the 45 minutes of class. So, all of this advice is going to be for Spotify. Where do I get my local files? A lot of instructors get their local files from either YouTube or SoundCloud. I have found personally that the YouTube local files or remixes are not always as high quality as the remixes I find on SoundCloud, so I primarily stick to SoundCloud remixes. In a bit, I'm going to teach you how to get remixes from SoundCloud's website into your Spotify profile. But first, I'd like to tell you about a great feature on both Spotify and SoundCloud that you can use to find new music. There's nothing worse than being in a music rut, and so whenever I feel uninspired, I love using the radio station feature on both Spotify and SoundCloud. I'm going to insert a clip here in a bit and show you exactly how you utilize that feature, but essentially, creating a radio station of a certain song that you are vibing with or inspired by will bring up via Spotify or SoundCloud's algorithm a new playlist of songs that sound alike, are by similar artists, have similar RPMs, or songs that people who have listened to your original radio station song have listened to next. I'm so guilty of overusing a great song that I find, so whenever I find a really good song, I'm immediately running to that radio station to see what else sounds like it. All right, friends, this is how you use the radio feature on Spotify. So let's say I love this remix and I want to hear songs that sound like it. Go all the way over to the right, click these 3 dots, go to Song Radio, and then Spotify is creating a radio station of songs that sound like that first inspiration song right here. This is such a good way to find new music because look how long and in-depth that is. 50 songs. Same thing on SoundCloud. Here's a Beyonce remix that I'm literally so obsessed with right now. If you go down below and you click these 3 dots, there's going to be an option right down here that says Station. Click on that, and then it creates a radio station based on this original song. You have lots of Beyonce remixes in there, but some other things mixed in too. And to get from that radio station, again,
you can click another song, go all the way over to the right, and then go to a new station.
Another great way to find new music is that both Spotify and SoundCloud do a Discover Weekly playlist where, based on your previous listening habits, they provide recommendations for songs that you might also be interested in. I do find that the SoundCloud algorithm has playlists that I prefer. A lot of the Spotify algorithm is influenced by what is trending on the top charts right now, and I don't necessarily always think that that translates well to a fitness playlist. The only caveat to the SoundCloud Discover Weekly playlist is that it's not entirely new songs. They pull from your listening habits, put those into a playlist, and then the algorithm fills the rest with other songs relating to those songs they think you would like. I still think SoundCloud is superior, but they're both great features for if you find yourself in a playlisting rut. Now, how do you get a SoundCloud song into your Spotify profile? There's a little bit of morally gray area here. I'm going to tell you, friends, find a song you like on SoundCloud, open up a second tab, and in that tab, Google search SoundCloud to Spotify MP3 converter. Pick any one of those websites, download yourself a little MP3. You didn't hear it from me. Once you have the MP3 file downloaded into your computer, I'm going to take you through the settings that you need to have activated on your Spotify account in order to use those songs. Now, before I show you the how-to on your Spotify profile, let me tell you that all fitness studios are built out differently. In my previous Cycle Bar studio, I could plug my own personal laptop into our sound system, and that way the local files only needed to be on my computer because I was pulling them up from this piece of technology. Now I teach at a studio where we use a desktop that is stationed in the corner of our studio, so I have an extra step, and you might too at your own studio, where I have to pull the MP3 files from the web and download them onto the studio computer to be able to use the local files in class. My solution to that is creating a public Google Drive, which I have linked in my Instagram bio. I never gatekeep anything. A, it's just easier for me to pull up my local files via the Google Drive that way, and B, I never gatekeep anything. So if my clients want to hear a remix that I've used in class, I want to tell them exactly how to find that. Also, I love sharing with y'all. I should keep some of these good songs to myself, but I just literally cannot stop yapping. So make yourself a Google Drive if you work at a fitness studio where you have to use the studio's computer to play your playlist from. Make yourself a Google Drive, make it a public Google Drive, and upload every single MP3 file you download to that drive. And then before your class, when you get to the studio, just download those MP3s and they will populate into your playlist, even if you did not make the playlist on the studio computer. Okay, I've made you wait long enough. Here is how you integrate MP3 files into your Spotify playlist, aka locally downloaded files.
LOL, all my true crime. But let's make sure that your computer is optimized for local files. So go to your Spotify homepage by clicking that little home, and then come over here to your profile icon, click on it. Go down to settings, and there are two settings, my friends, you need to have toggled on. If you do not have these settings toggled on, you will not be able to play local files. So it is so imperative that you have these activated. You're gonna scroll about a third of the way down till it says your library. Right here, it says show local files. You have to make sure that this is toggled on. It is green, it is on, so I get access to local files on my computer. Right underneath there, I don't do too much work. Listen, I don't work more than I have to. I'm showing songs from downloads, period. That is toggled on. That means as soon as I click download that MP3 file from the internet, it automatically comes into my Spotify profile. Your local files can be accessed like this. So over here on the left-hand side, somewhere, there's going to be a playlist called Local Files. I have over 500 songs on this playlist, and if you scroll down, you have everything I've downloaded from the internet. You can take any one of these remixes, drag it like a normal song, and put it into a new playlist. It's going to look like that.
So let's break down the 3 checkpoints that I have in every single class playlist to ensure that the energy remains at a high during the entire duration of my class. Number 1, you need to start with a quick win. So start your class with a song that will immediately set the tone for the energy that you want to create. You're the narrator, you're the driver, you are in control, and whatever vibe you want your clients to emanate throughout class, you can demand from them from the beginning. And you can set that demand with kindness. You don't have to ask for it with your own words. You can just bring your physical energy and the energy of the music to set the tone for the rest of your ride, class, bar, whatever it may be. Here's an example of songs that could be a quick win. A song that's just about 3 minutes. A 3-minute song with 2 pushes is a really surefire way to ignite your class with high energy while not exhausting them from the start of class. Another example of a quick win could be a pop culture reference. What's trending right now? What's a song that everyone knows that's going to ignite a little excitement in everyone because the song is trending? So your quick wins could be a couple things. Number one, something short and sweet. 3 minutes. It has 2 beat drops or 2 pushes. You get people started, you get the work done, but you don't exhaust them, and then you're on to the next part of your warm-up. Another quick win could be something that is culturally relevant that appeals to a lot of people. So a song that is trending right now, a song they're seeing on TikTok, Instagram, social media, whatever it may be, a new release from an artist that everyone loves, something that brings relatability to the forefront of the start of your class is another quick win. So start your class with a quick win. Your second checkpoint is going to be the middle of your class. You're going to start on a high. Naturally, people will start to fatigue, energy will dip. You need to bring it back up in the middle. Don't let it dip so far down. So in the middle of class, put another really high energy song, and maybe this is a moment where you ask once again for the energy that you wish to see. Hey guys, I know we're tired. You've done an amazing job working. Let's bring it back up. I want you to take a little bit of that energy you started class with and put it into your movement right now. Again, you can make demands or asks of your clients without being mean, without yelling, without making people feel intimidated. You can ask with kindness and compassion to up the stakes. Do that right there in the middle of your class. Start on a high, you might lose some people, bring it back in the middle. Tell them they're doing great. Keep it up. The last checkpoint, of course, is that you're going to end on a high. So once again, started on a high, we might have lost some folks, we brought them back, things are looking great. Then you start to lose people because they're thinking about what happens next. That's just the way that humans' brains are wired. We're constantly kind of planning ahead and getting ready for the next thing that we have to do. And I'm not afraid to call attention to that. Hey, I know I can see you planning your grocery list in your head. Let's bring it back. Give yourself 10 minutes and then you can go right back to that grocery list. But I want to end class on a high. That is something that is super high energy. I know I fall into the pattern of always ending class with a really fast sprint in the saddle at 128 RPMs. Sue me. And the thing of it is, that's what my writers want. We've asked them before what they love to see. That always makes people feel empowered, but I do like to switch it up every once in a while. I like to end with some jogs out of the saddle. I like to end with some unexpected choreography, things that just keep my writers guessing, but it's always something incredibly high energy. And again, same concept as how we started class. I don't want to do anything too defeating in the last song because I want every single person who takes my class to walk out of the room feeling better than when they entered it. I want them to walk out of the room feeling accomplished, but I do want them to be challenged as well. I think sometimes we fall into this trap mentally that an inclusive or accessible class is not challenging, and that could not be further from the truth. You can make demands, you can make asks, you can push, and you can challenge your clients without defeating them, embarrassing them, or shaming them. You have to find your power as a coach to bring out all of the best in your clients without making them feel less than, and you can do it. But it just takes some really thoughtful and mindful planning, and it takes getting to know your community. I know what my community needs in 3 of those checkpoints that I've mentioned, and I'm going to bring that in every single class. It creates trust with your clients, it sets expectations, it makes programming and playlisting easier for you, and it just makes your experience that much more polished. Start high, check back in the middle, and end high but accessibly. So here's my formula for success. I'm so proud of the way that I have figured this formula out in my 6 years in the industry. It is so successful every single time. And now that I have really thought this through, written it down, and spent time experimenting with this formula, I make a great playlist every single class I teach. This formula can be used once again with any modality of fitness. Here it is. So here's the breakdown. 1/3 of your playlist needs to be songs that light you up. Be selfish with 1/3 of your class. Here's the thing. People like what you like. Because if you like it, you're going to bring that high energy like I was just talking about with the checkpoints. You're going to bring that high energy if you resonate personally with the song. This is where you can put in your deep dives, your deep cuts, your throwbacks, your unexpected moments. If you are resonating with them and you are going to coach them strongly because of your relationship with the music, put it in. People only know to like what you introduce them to. So if you set yourself up for a great moment of introducing new music in your class, your clients will never be confused. They will be so excited that you are taking them with you on this journey of discovering new music, and they're going to feel energized. They love learning just like we love teaching. 1/3 of your playlist needs to be selfish for you. You will teach it better. So part 2 is that 1/3 of your playlist needs to be for them. 1/3 of your playlist needs to be so unselfishly devoted to the people that take your classes. So this is going to be song requests, theme requests, songs that have performed well and delivered high energy in previous classes before. I like to follow my writers on social media, and so I can see what concerts they're going to, what songs they're posting in their stories. I just want to keep a pulse on what they're listening to and what they like. We have an open line of communication. They can DM me song requests anytime, and I'm happy to put them in the rotation of honoring these requests. But I need 1/3 of your class to be for the people who are in the room, because they feel so loved and cared for, as they should, when you do something special for them, like honoring songs that they enjoy. This comes with being more comfortable in your community. Something else you can do is pay attention to the schedule of your community and what instructors or what theme classes are performing highly with the members of your studio, because then you can implement those artists or those songs into your playlist as well. So if you know your community loves early 2000s throwback songs, put some in your class. If those themes are selling out, put them in your playlist too. If hip hop classes are performing really well at your studio, put a little hip hop into your ride, and it can be hip hop that resonates with you. But I want you to make choices and do your research on what your specific community likes so that you can appeal to the people who are filling up your classes. And here's the last part. 1/3 of your playlist needs to be universal. Here's how you find universal music that everybody likes. What songs are you hearing at the grocery store? What songs come on at a bar that make people slap the table? What songs are trending on the charts right now? What songs are going viral on TikTok, Instagram, and the likes of that? This is another one that comes with doing your research and just always keeping your eyes and ears peeled for the things that people in the world are posting about and vibing with. At Cycle Bar specifically, they always told us that a successful playlist has a little something for everyone, and this 1/3 of your playlist that's universal is totally aligning with that message. If someone has never taken a group fitness class in their life, what is a song you could put in your class that would make people feel, okay, I can do this. I feel good. I feel comfortable. That made me feel seen. Let me tell you what. Back in Black by AC/DC and Don't Stop Believing by Journey will always make the people feel good. It's things like that. The best finisher song you can ever have in a spin class, I'll tell you very confidently, is Since You've Been Gone by Kelly Clarkson. You want people to scream sing on a bike? Since You've Been Gone. Kelly Clarkson. 1/3 of your playlist is for you. 1/3 of your playlist is for them. And 1/3 of your playlist is universal. This gives you so much freedom, but also sets a structure that once again creates the experience that your clients will come to expect and love, and will keep them booking your classes week after week. All right, y'all, let's troubleshoot. Here's my advice. Let's start from the most sane to the most unhinged. Things will always happen. Something will always go wrong in every class you teach. And the sooner I realized that it's not an if, but a when, I became more confident in handling those little mishaps as they happen. My best piece of advice for you in terms of troubleshooting is to always have a backup plan A, but B, always remember that your clients just want a good experience and they want a workout. So what can you do that still provides your clients with a workout and a good experience, even if they don't know that things are going wrong behind the scenes? You don't have to tell your clients if something goes wrong. You, as the leader, can just make a decision that is for the benefit and the betterment of the community experience. Never feel unqualified to make a choice that protects the experience of your clients. You can do this. And so here's my troubleshooting. I have at least 5 playlists downloaded to the studio Spotify account that I can access offline. That means no matter what's going on with the internet service, there are 5 playlists I can pull up at any time to be able to teach in class. That means if there's ever a Spotify outage, hopefully those playlists will populate. But if not, my next piece of advice is to have a SoundCloud playlist that you can fall back on. A SoundCloud membership is free, and a free account has the ability to make playlists. So I also have a backup 45-minute playlist on SoundCloud that I can pull from in case of emergency. And I have had to pull from it because Spotify global outages really do be kicking you in the butt sometimes. But here's the only caveat about SoundCloud. It does not have the crossfade feature like Spotify does, so it is a pretty rough transition from song to song on SoundCloud, so I just want you to be ready for that because there might be some awkward pauses. Now my solutions get a little bit more unhinged. Another great backup solution is to fall back on that Google Drive, open up your files, and play them one at a time. A girl's got to do what a girl's got to do, and in the face of an emergency, you might always have those local files uploaded to your Google Drive to fall back on. Here's probably my most unhinged solution. All of these solutions too are like thoughts and prayers that you have Wi-Fi access at the studio. But another great solution in the case of an emergency is go onto YouTube and just search for workout playlist. There are sweet baby angels in this world who just create 8-hour-long videos of high energy or pop music that will just play one after the next. And you can use one of those videos in your classes. If all of the music systems are down, pull up YouTube, pull up one of those little 8-hour workout playlists and teach from that. Like I said, your clients come to the studio because they want a good workout. They don't know if things go wrong, so you have so many options to be able to still give them a good experience, even if your first choice playlist isn't available for you to teach in the moment, because things do happen. You can confidently make a choice to use a backup plan that protects the integrity of the experience of your class. And I'm going to end this playlisting 101 session with a few questions that got sent in to me from my followers. Number 1, how often do I repeat songs or playlists? And my answer might be unpopular, but I really don't think there should be a rule or a limit on how often and when you can repeat things. Something I've been experimenting with lately is I teach a mirrored schedule, which means I teach the same time slot on multiple days. I teach Wednesday and Friday at the same time. I have been experimenting lately with playing a song on Wednesday, teaching 8 counts of choreography, and then telling my writers, hey, if you loved this, come back on Friday and we're going to add on another 8 counts to this choreography. It's a great way to start a new playlist so you already have that energy dictated by the song that you're repeating, and then it just gives a good base. Again, a lot of these choices that I have made are to extend the feeling of community beyond just the class time. So they take my class on Wednesday, they practice something, they're like, oh my God, yes, I can do this and I can't wait to do it again Friday. And then we have that shared experience. As far as repeating playlist goes, hear me out. I don't think it's wrong to repeat playlists because at one point you stood behind a group of songs enough in your playlist to present it and teach a great class. I think that energy can be recycled. Here would be my rules for that though. If I'm recycling an entire playlist, I would not use that whole playlist again for a few months. And if possible, I would try not to use it on at least the same day of the week, but that same time slot. So if I taught on Wednesday a playlist, a couple months later on a Sunday, maybe I use that same playlist. So it's probably a different group of writers. And here's the other thing. Unless you write your workout down, I do not, you're never going to teach the same class twice. Even if you do write it down and you follow those directions, it's going to be different every time. So no one pays attention to your playlist more than you. Confidently reduce, reuse, recycle, babe. Unpopular opinion, hot take. I made it. It's good. People liked it. I'm going to use it again, okay? The other question I got asked was about organization, and that called me out a little bit because I organize nothing in my Spotify. There are over 2,000 playlists on my Spotify. None of them are organized. However, I have seen other instructors organize their playlists by songs to pull from, sorted through by RPMs. That's a great idea. Something I was doing for a while at my old studio, and I should bring back at my new studio, is putting a little asterisk next to playlists that I feel like went really well when I taught them. So A, if I want to use one again, I can pull up an asterisk playlist because it went over really well. Or B, I can pull specific songs from those playlists to create that same kind of energy. Another great question I got asked is, when I'm programming a playlist, do I select a song based on the move I want my writers to do, or do I start with the music and set it to a move afterwards? And the answer is I do both. Sometimes I have a song right away in my head that I know I want to use for a specific movement, and so I'll kind of plug that into a new playlist. And sometimes I just really like the song and I'm going to fit it to the movement later. Something that has helped me though is picking jogs or anything from like 70 to 85 RPMs has always been the most challenging thing for me. And I think it's just because there's not as many great high energy songs that are in that RPM range. So I do specifically seek those out because typically a jog is harder to find than like a 60 to 65 RPM climb. How do you make a playlist when you teach multiple times a week? Like I said, don't be afraid to reduce, reuse, recycle songs. I used to do something called a Franken playlist where I used half of a playlist into my next playlist, but I didn't use the songs in the same order. And I probably wouldn't do this with a mirrored schedule either. But let's say I taught Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. and Friday at noon. You could totally Franken playlist that. So take the 6 best performing songs from Wednesday and then mix them into a new playlist for Friday. That's how, at my peak, when I was teaching 6 cycling classes a week, that's how I would do it. Franken playlist. And the last question that y'all asked me is how I program my playlists. For many years, I just followed the cycle bar formats, and most group fitness studios have some kind of format guide. I know when I taught for bar 3, all of our bar 3 approved music was somewhere between 60 to 70 RPMs. I believe Pure Bar was the same way, and so it just made class programming easy. But now at Cycle Bar, we have a format where we are allowed to create our own order of RPMs. And to be honest with you, I keep mentioning this, but I just pay attention to my writers and what they like and what elicits reactions from them and what I feel like they do really successfully. And I play around based on that. Right now, my writers are really loving arms. So I've been adding 2 or 3 arm songs in every cycling class I teach because it has been getting a really positive reaction from my writers. And it has been a nice way to switch up what we do to keep people coming back and be surprised and excited again and again. I don't think there's any wrong way to program. If you're at a studio where you have free reign of your programming, my best advice is to program based on the likes and reactions of your community. Because if you program something that you know your community or your members already loves, then your job is just cut in half because you know you're going to have a good experience. So then what music can you put in the class that you like or that a new client, a first-time client would enjoy and feel comfortable doing? Always, every decision I make is influenced by making people happy because that's our job and it's such a beautiful job. Well, you survived Playlisting 101. You have 3 checkpoints you're going to put into your playlist to keep energy high for the duration of your class. You have my formula to playlisting success that will create a playlist that has something for everyone. You have troubleshooting options. You now know how to integrate local files from the internet onto your Spotify account. You know how to search for new music. All of these things we learn together. And the great thing about music and programming and playlisting is you get better over time. You become more confident, more knowledgeable, and more in tune with the wants of your community. If you have any questions about being a group fitness instructor, please leave them in the comments below and I'll film another educational video because I really believe the more we share with each other, the better we all get. I don't believe in gatekeeping information because our purpose in our career is to serve other people for the betterment of their lives and health. I don't want to keep that information a secret. So I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for being here. If this was helpful, please like, subscribe, comment, share with another group fitness instructor friend, and give me a follow on all my social platforms. I'll link them in the description down below. Every single playlist I make is public on Spotify. Like I said, we don't gatekeep here, we share. Sharing is caring, and I really appreciate you sharing your time with me today. Bye.